back in the 91X studio. How many times do you guys think you've been in different 91X studios over the years too, huh?
Different ones. I'm reminded that you, not you personally, but you, the royal you, 91X, were the first station to ever play our song on the air.
Oh my God.
Definitely a different studio, but yeah. This is a long-standing relationship.
It is a long-standing relationship. Do you remember the song? Do you remember, was it on our local show loudspeaker?
Or it was.
It was a song called Chem 6A.
You remember?
First album. I was sitting with some buddies in my parents' minivan, a senior in high school.
And you heard it come on?
Like someone tipped us off that they might play it. So I was like, okay. Oh my gosh, here it is. Pretty surreal. It's a surreal, you'll never forget the first time you hear your song on the radio.
I bet. That is so cool. I wonder if it was Leslie. I'd love to know who it was. I bet I could find that out. That's awesome.
Well, you guys... things sound different on the radio. They sound great. There's like that radio compression.
Yeah, right.
And you hear your music, but it's through that chain that you've heard all your favorite music sound like, and there's nothing like it.
Oh, I love that. Yes, we do go way back with you guys. I was trying to think about like all the Switchfoot things we've done over the years, because we've done multiple Switchfoot X sessions. And those are when you guys play like a tiny little acoustic set for, just in one of our recording studios, or like for a few lucky listeners or whatever. And then we play. In fact, I have this is back when we called it the 91X Garage. So that's one version of Meant to Live. We have like 6 versions of Meant to Live in the 91X Music Library. Here's another X Session version. The car concert?
Yes. And we were that was the first concert to bring live music back to California.
Yes,
is that true?
No, it was true.
I'm saying that those words are coming out of my mouth.
No, it's true.
That's unreal.
So that 91X car concert was Switchfoot. We did. We've done shows over the years. We did the 25 and 24 screening and like.
So that was in this room, I believe.
Oh, where you were filming part of it?
Yeah,
came through here. Yeah.
So one of the 25 shows in 24 hours. One of them was here.
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah.
We had like trombones and all sorts of people coming in.
It was a big deal. And then we did a screening of it, I remember, because we did like a Q&A at FDA or something.
Spreckles, I think it was.
Where
the screening was, I think. But yeah.
I mean, so much. The Bro-Am 91X is part of every year, and so feel so fortunate to be in that Bro-Am family with you guys. Which brings me to like your connection to the city of San Diego. For those of you who don't know, Switchfoot do so much good for the community here. I want to go way back though and ask about, I mean, I know you guys are from here, but is it really true that your mom has played the pipe organ at the Organ Pavilion? Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, part. Yeah, we that was actually in the 25 and 24 film.
It might have been immediately after playing at 91X. One of the 25 stops. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the next stops. We went to, the Spreckles Organ Pavilion, and my mom is one of the few people that has ever played it, because you have to kind of get permission. It's a big deal.
Right.
It's an incredible landmark, I think. So there's so many things that I love about our hometown. I think whenever we go around the world, whether we're playing, Warsaw or Australia, South Africa, Japan, wherever, we never say we're Switchfoot from California. We always say we're Switchfoot from San Diego. This town has our heartbeat, and we're proud to represent San Diego around the world.
Oh, we're proud to call you guys a local band. You still feel like a local band.
Yes, forever.
Yeah. And to that end, with the Switchfoot, the Bro-Am Foundation, you guys have raised over $2 million and given back to great organizations locally, Monarch School and Feeding San Diego, and all kinds of beautiful things that you do with that. But on an international scale, you've sold over 10 million albums. You've been streamed like 500 million times.
Yes.
I mean, the numbers are just crazy. Like we were saying before we started, I feel like, oh, these Switchfoots coming in. Like I get to see my friends, and then you look at the numbers, and it's nuts. I was telling my daughter Finn on the way here, like 500 million streams around the world for their songs. Like it's so crazy. So
These are all things that we tell people as soon as we meet.
you should,
Yeah.
Tim. You should class
Nice
that.
to meet you. That's
I'm
right.
not sure if you're aware, but
Well, it's so funny because like I remember, so I bought my first house, and being a musician buying a house, that's a crazy thing. This is back when you could actually afford a house in San Diego.
right.
And somehow the people next door, they got the band wrong and they thought that I was in Slipknot. So it's really funny because there's like with the pictures of Slipknot, you're like, maybe that's him, or I don't know,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
that one. So, but it is that thing where like trying to prove that you have a real job. These are funny things, right? Like when we won our first, we won a Grammy, and that was,
Yes,
a lot of
that's
people were
right.
like, "Oh, so you guys are like a real band?" Like, yeah, we've been at it for a little bit, but
That's so
yeah,
funny.
it is funny. Numbers and music, when
Yeah.
you start combining them, it just gets so silly.
I know, but it is cool to read about, and I feel oddly like proud of you guys. If I have nothing to do with it, but I just love that you guys have seen so much success, and it's a huge deal to be sitting here getting to talk about 20 years since the release of this album, The Beautiful Letdown, that really opened doors for you guys, really took off and kind of launched you guys to another level, and that's what we're here tonight to celebrate.
Let's go.
Yeah, Tim, Don, and Chad of Switchfoot. We're going to start with Meant to Live. Ready?
Let's go.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know where that came from. It says Meant to Live live April Fools.
Yeah, we April Fools ourselves apparently.
Alright.
You had a good scream. Like your scream on it was really.
That is pretty impressive. Yeah.
It's fun letting a lot of things out.
Yeah.
Meant to Live was huge on 91X when it first came out. The Beautiful Letdown was released in February of 2003. That is so nuts. And we were all over it. Love that song. It's still in our library. Like we still play Meant to Live. And I did a little research. Turns out it was voted number 21 in 91X's Top 91 New Year's Eve Countdown back then in 2003.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, top 25.
Here we
Big
go.
deal. Hell yeah. So let's start with that since we're going to go through this album, The Beautiful Letdown, and we'll get into why you re-recorded it and the whole story behind it. But I just wanted to get the music here too.
Yeah.
And we'll start with this it's a newly re-recorded entire version of the album. And
Yeah.
since Meant to Live is the first track. In a nutshell, what was different about this new re-recorded version? And then we'll play it and we'll really dive in.
Yeah, so we a lot of people don't know the story of The Beautiful Letdown. Right after we recorded it, we were signed to Sony, Columbia. It was this huge thing for us. I mean, a San Diego band, especially at that time, to be signed by a major and to have a shot at being a band that makes it out of San Diego felt like a huge privilege. So we fly to New York City to showcase for the heads of Sony worldwide, and the head of the label walks out right in the middle of like our first or second song and says, "I hate this. They have no songs. Why did we sign this? This is awful."
I've never heard this.
Yeah.
No way.
So at that point, we walked off stage having not known this, and our manager's like, that didn't go well. And so we were dropped right then and there from Sony. And at the point, you're kids and you're trying to figure out, I think these songs are good, but you don't know. And there's this guy who's, has paid a lot of money to tell people what is good and bad, and he thinks it's awful. And so we had it's kind of this crucial moment where we had to decide, do we think we have something to say? Do we like these songs? Do we think it's worthwhile or not? Is it worth fighting for? And we kind of, came together as a band and decided, you know what? Screw it. Like, we love these songs and we think that they're worth fighting for. Let's release it. let's chase it down. And so that was, we were put out through a label called RED, and they really fought for us. We, in minivans and various 15 passengers around the country for like a good year and a half, just kind of chased it down. And then, fast forward, I think it was like 1 million or 2 million records later, the head of the label is now shaking hands with us, saying, "I love you guys." And but it's this thing where we realized at that moment, it doesn't matter what he thinks. It matters what we think. And so this re-record is basically a thank you. It's a love letter to everyone who stuck with us this entire time. Say thank you. This is our version, not the 5 of us. Of the 4 of us, this is our version, like for everyone around the world who's gathered around these songs. That's what this album means to me.
Oh my gosh. On that note, let's play our version, the first song that kicks off the re-recording of Beautiful Letdown, 20th anniversary. This is Meant to Live. Switchfoot live on 91X. All right. So I think I had the story wrong. I knew that you guys had like recorded the album and been dropped. For some reason, I thought Sonya was the one that like swooped in and picked you guys up. I didn't know that. That must have been so
It was strange. It was strange.
Yeah.
I am going to make an adjustment on your microphone because it's covering your face. And Karen said she wants to see your face on the YouTube comment. And we can, we're all still live and stuff.
Yeah,
You're at a strong
And the live stream is live even while the songs are playing. Is that correct?
Live stream is live even right
Hi,
now.
YouTube. So keep that in mind.
And then I have
YouTube.
Do you think you could? Maybe
Chad, I'm gonna pull things out of you, man. I feel bad because
what's best for you?
If the mic goes that way, and it kind of comes that way.
So mic goes this way and John comes this way.
Yeah, if you can. Okay, that's perfect. And then lift it up to where you feel comfortable. Yeah, that's fine.
How's that, Karen?
You should.
I think we know
Karen how it is now.
Karen, I'm thinking of.
All right. She says thank you. I have questions, Hillary, unless you have something.
Yeah, if you want to just do it for the live stream, we have 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a quickie and go into our first stop.
We have 2 minutes?
Yeah, till I jump back on. Sure.
Well, I'm gonna play them the video you guys put up on YouTube, the making of.
Oh yeah.
Well, now you have 1:40.
Okay, well now we'll do a question.
You can do the video during commercials if you want.
So the first question is from Chai, and she asked, why didn't you include Monday Comes Around in the re-recorded album?
Well, a couple of reasons.
First of all, hello, YouTube.
Great question. One is because we were trying to be as true as we could to the original version of the album, and that was a B-side. The other one was a more practical, kind of old school reason, in that there's only so much music that can fit on a vinyl before you start losing sound quality, and we really wanted to maintain the audio integrity. And 11 songs left.
Integrity. It's all about integrity, fidelity. We're voting for this guy. He's got a new haircut too. He looks like I could see you running for office.
All right, 40 seconds. I'm just going to do a quick one and get into the commercials and get the first stop set out of the way.
Cool.
Come back and keep it rolling.
How's everybody on YouTube doing? What's going on these days?
Monterrey, Mexico.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hola!
Buenas noches.
Yeah.
Got what is the news for the day? We've got Apple is going to join the chatbot GPT game. Tim's got a haircut. I mean, all sorts of things are happening. How are the Padres doing? The Padres.
Oh, they were winning last time I checked.
Okay.
Come on, here we go, fellas. Here we go. That is the song, the newly re-recorded version of Switchfoot's Meant to Live on 91X from the Beautiful Letdown, our version. And by our, I love that you guys mean not just the 4 of you, but the collective our, all of us, all the fans, and everyone that loves you so much.
Royal we.
Yeah, that is super cool. So we're going to come right back. I have so many questions, probably going to run out of time. Thank you to everyone watching the live stream as well. YouTube, Facebook, all the places. We are there. And we will be right back and continue the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Beautiful Letdown with Switchfoot here on 91X. Okay. This is kind of a long one because we have a surf report. So if you want to play that video, you can.
You want to talk about the new record?
It was a beautiful letdown.
The Beautiful Letdown, that whole record almost never came out at all.
This album changed our lives.
20 years later, it's crazy to think that we came so close to nobody hearing those songs.
And that's a story that I don't know that too many people know. So we had finally got onto this major label.
It was this holy grail that very few bands ever achieved.
I mean, we thought we were living the dream.
We worked so hard on this album, we loved these songs, and right before the album came out,
Bam! They dropped us.
It felt like we had arrived, and that arrival was just taken away from us.
talk about going from the top of the mountain on the fast track all the way down to the bottom.
It was a roller coaster. It was such a volatile time for all of us.
I think it lived up to the title, The Beautiful Letdown, and that album hadn't even come out yet.
But in spite of all of that, we were fighting to put it out anyway.
Didn't matter if the major label agreed and believed in us. We thought we had something to say.
We were determined to put out these songs, with or without a major label.
These are our songs. We're gonna put them out.
For the past 20 years, we've been taking these songs around the world. Or they've been taking us around the world.
I mean, these songs have grown up with us, and we've grown up with them.
I still love those songs. They still mean so much to me. I still believe them.
What if we can re-record the entire album?
And not for some record company that doesn't even want us.
But for us, and for the people that have been singing along with us for the last 20 years.
What if we could take the whole album back, make it ours? The Beautiful Letdown, our version.
91X.
And it adds up, but they are so fun.
The sticker shock is everywhere now,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It is real.
it really is.
You're not on,
Yeah.
but video's over. So
Okay,
do you want me to put you back on?
sure. And do you have any more
I do.
questions
Yeah.
or comments? Yeah, we can talk to the live stream.
All right.
Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, shut it up. Good. Thank you. We have about 4 minutes left.
All right. We are back on YouTube,
YouTube.
and I have a question from Carolyn that asks, what song was the most challenging to relearn for the re-recording?
Oh man, she's stealing my questions.
Oh, no.
That's okay. I wasn't gonna ask exactly that. Go ahead.
Are you channeling Hillary at this point? Carolyn? That's a good one. I think there's some nuances that were really hard. We spent a long time, inordinate amounts of time, trying to get like there's a triangle sound that was like panned and filtered at the beginning of Dare You to Move that we just kind of got as close as we could after days of trying to get it, and we're like, yeah, I guess that's it. At this point, that is what it sounds like.
I never liked it anyways.
Yeah.
Carry it in the mix.
But yeah, it's so funny, all these little things that you're Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, says you
Okay.
can never step in the same river twice. And so we kind of embraced that and said, all right,
Oh,
let's make this is a new river.
yeah.
Step in a different river. So yeah.
I like that.
Have you step on other stuff too?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes. What else? Carolyn?
We got one from Nicole that asks the question on everyone's mind: when is a San Diego date going to be added?
Ah, yes.
Oh, Hillary might be able to elucidate.
Stay tuned, Nicole. That's all I'll say.
YouTube. Stay
Yeah.
tuned. Stay tuned.
And then we, President Squidward says,
Oh.
Padres won.
Ah, thank you, Cody.
Go Padres.
You know him, yes. Thank you, Cody.
And then maybe a bit bigger of a question. How challenging was it to incorporate new technology into remaking the old songs?
We don't.
That was Karen.
Ask all.
Karen.
Tell Karen we're gonna kind of touch
Yes.
on that.
We're gonna
we're gonna get
talk
there.
on that.
We're gonna get there. You're stealing my thunder, man.
You know what? Step off. That's my job.
Let's ask like, what's your favorite color? You guys can handle it.
You're asking too good of a question.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll tell you this, for anyone who's planning on going to the beach, the water warmed up.
Oh yes, it
Yes.
has.
This is
It
great.
has.
I mean, I'm sure the surf report's saying the same thing.
It will be in 30 seconds.
But-
Yes, I went in on Sunday. It felt so good.
Yeah.
Finally, I know.
Lots of love for the Bro-Am this year in the comments.
Nice.
It was a good run this year.
I was
So
out
fun.
of town for it this year.
Yeah. No, it was so fun. It was so smooth.
Yeah.
It's like our team is just so great. The city's so great. The
Oh, it's
volunteers,
so
everyone's
awesome.
incredible.
Our friends Sands
Oh,
played.
yeah.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing. I'm putting at the poster. They're playing. So Loudspeaker is celebrating its 35th anniversary and this year, and that's next weekend. Yeah, they're gonna play 35th anniversary of Loudspeaker.
Wow.
Okay, 40 seconds, and we will resume. You guys ever go to Bird Surf Show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Bird.
We did a premiere of
Oh,
Fading West
yeah.
Yeah.
for the surf film
Festival.
festival.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
Pierce Kavanaugh used
Yeah,
to run that?
yeah.
Oh, or still runs it, I should say. Pierce
Yeah.
and Petra, that's cool. Okay, here we go. 17 seconds.
Okay.
Thank you, Bird. We love the Sheds. Hillary in here with John, Tim, and Chad from Switchfoot. And we're just talking about you guys did an event there that's
Yeah.
training, yeah, at Bird Surf Shed.
Yes, I love that place. I mean, there's no place like it in the world.
Yeah,
It's unreal.
yeah. And Bird is so generous. You can be like, oh, I want to take my cousin surfing. He'll be stats and songs that you've played over the years since I think it goes back to 2001 on FM or whatever it is. Meant to Live played over 700 times live.
Wow.
And with this, that one
And I still mess up the words. That's
that's awesome. Not going to go on that.
I know. Well, the 701st time. That's when you know. Yeah.
That's so funny. Dare You to Move, you've actually played more than Meant to Live. Dare You to Move is your most played live song. But and we're going to go into This Is Your Life right now. I'm playing all the songs from their newly re-recorded The Beautiful Letdown Hour version, something you guys did to celebrate its 20th anniversary. And the reason why I brought up how many times you've played Meant to Live live is just to showcase how long you've lived with not only that song, but this album. And I want to know, in the re-recording of this, like you guys have grown, obviously 20 years, man, a lot of life happens in 20 years, right? So when you went in to re-record these songs, I'm sure the weight of 20 years of experiences informed these new versions. Did you know, is that the case? I guess I'm asking.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because I think you're always learning something. You're always forgetting something, like at any moment, you know? And so this was a project where we were able to kind of hold those two ends of the rope and try and add some things that we've learned along the way, and also pick up a few things we dropped along the way, and put them back in our pocket. So it was. I mean, we've never done anything like it. I think some of the updates we did on the songs were more subtle, like tones, and maybe you play it a little different now that you've played it for 20 years. We've added a few different arrangements here and there that we adapted. But overall, we wanted to keep pretty true to the original spirit of it. But I think the biggest, like right off the bat, the biggest upgrade was, if I can brag about my brother for a second.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's really grown a lot as a vocalist.
Sure.
And so it was kind of like immediately you're comparing, his voice now versus, 20 something him. And it was like this immediate upgrade on so many of these songs. And there's something special about the original vocal too, and it's kind of rawness, But that just to kind of hear what John, especially having sung these songs so many times, and they've grown not just in the way he sings them, but kind of the emotion behind them. And that was really cool to finally kind of put that back on the recording. We've talked about doing something like this for so long. Wouldn't it be great if you wrote an album, recorded it, toured it, and then recorded it for real, and that was the version? Because it seemed like in the early days, and like I imagine in the 60s and 70s, way before us, that I think is truer to how it would be, right? You would write a song, you'd play it live, 50, 100 times, take it on tour.
It would change.
Yeah, and then you record it. And this was kind of like the ultimate version of that. Now we've done that. We've road tested these songs for years.
Was it Fela Kuti? He would never play a song after it was recorded.
Really?
Like he'd play it live, and then once he recorded, he'd say, "All right, well, let's play new songs. You already have that one." So, but yeah, I mean, it was a trip going back in time.
I bet. Let's get into it with This Is Your Life from the new re-recorded version of the Beautiful Letdown, our version of Switchfoot on 91X. So I can't spin the computer around to show you guys, but I made a playlist on Spotify when I knew we were going to do this, and I did Meant to Live Old, Meant to Live New.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I staggered them all, and so I've been driving around.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd go back and listen to the first 30 seconds and then listen to the new version. And I was, it was so interesting to hear. And sometimes I was like, I don't know that I hear too much of a difference. And sometimes oh yeah, this is really, different.
Yeah.
But I think, you're right. Your voice, it's so strong. There's almost more soul behind it. I think it's
start at the bottom. You can only go up from there.
The first record's great too, but it just really, it sounds awesome. Sounds everything, guys. There's cool stuff I'm hearing all the way throughout, and we'll talk more about that. But production, all of it. Nice. Okay, Neil, how we doing?
I have a cool question, actually.
Yes.
Another one from Karen, and she asks, what has kept you motivated to continue to tour after all these years?
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, just that connection.
Mortgages? No.
Right.
It's funny because all my friends that have kind of gotten out of music, they're much happier, more we have a friend who used to tour with us that was I don't get paid enough for this. Now he worked for a bank, and I think for us it's always been just the connection, and that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everyone, right?
It's not for everyone. Yeah. We some people get a lot from that. Other people are you guys are crazy. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. I think for me, I genuinely love touring, playing live shows. I think there's times when you're a young band and you're playing 10 shows in 7 days and you haven't slept, and
even just this last weekend, we had a thing where we were driving. We played Fargo, Jacksonville, Oregon, Santa Maria.
No one's ever done that.
Those 3 cities.
It's
were you flying?
Fargo, flying. then we flew into LAX, drove up to San Maria. There's this thing where we got back to the studio at 4:30 a.m. after being up from 3:30 a.m. to catch our flight. But it was this thing where Tim and I were both like, I love what we do. This is a blast. It still brings me joy.
That's
Know?
awesome.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the energy from the crowd, because every show is like someone's first Switchfoot show, right? And your songs are not silly voice. They speak to a lot of people, right? And so every show, there's got to be people there that, like, I've cried at your shows before, you know what I mean? There's got to be people that are so moved by it. And so I would hope that, that gives you guys really good energy to, I'm going to let it go into the more than fine and just kind of sweep into that. And then we'll come out of that and talk again. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just like each show is really special. To
they're so
crowd.
different.
Hopefully you get that love and energy back. I would imagine.
Yeah, we hear some incredible stories. Whether they're people that email through the website or talking to people after the show outside on the curb, and you just hear these amazing connections to the music and how people have met at our shows, gotten married, and you just feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, you are. You absolutely are. That's so cool. Yeah. Do you ever have times where you're just like, I can't after a show, like you just need a break? I need to like just go back to my room or to the bus or van or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think at times touring has made each of us introverts. For like it. It's like there needs to be a balance of giving and then also pulling away from yourself.
Sure.
For sure. But I think for the most part, the live experience, the connection, talking to people, it is pretty life giving, extremely life giving.
Music was that thing for me that transcended language when I was in junior high and high school and could like communicate things that I couldn't get the other way. And like I would listen to a song and it would open up new floors in my mind or soul, expanding the available language of what was possible. And so when I hear that from someone else, it's like, all right, let's go. 4 a.m. We got to drive. Let's go. So it definitely is inspiring.
That's so cool.
What else we got? Great question.
We got one from Nicole asking if you were to re-record any other album of yours, what would it be?
Nothing sound.
Not so fast.
We just finished this one.
I don't know. Like we thought when we were doing this, we were like, I don't know that we'll ever do it again.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a chunk of time. It's beautiful and it was wonderful. But
it was it was a great experience to do once. I think to do more than one, I think that requires some thought because recording new music is always the most exciting thing to us. A new song, something that's never been created before. I think we need to at least do that before we talk about re-recording the other albums.
I got a text from Bird, who was currently listening.
Yeah, Bird.
So cool. And Bird said, "Oh, this is really sweet. Thank you. If Switchfoot is really there, let them please know they are a Bird Surf Shed favorite in all caps with a piece and the bird emoji." So I took that picture and sent it to him. And he said, "That's so cool. Oh man, I wish it was a fly on the wall. They have kept so grounded and true to the San Diego local scene." I should do this on there. In my humble opinion, they have any promo pictures or whatever. I'd love to have them sign something I could put up in the shed. Sounds hokey, but that's the kind of bird I am.
We would be honored to have something hanging in.
Awesome. Yes, we would love that. There's a computer facility.
Yeah, Hillary connecting the dots right there. Come on.
You did that. You guys are so great too. That's awesome. Okay. probably my list. We have 55 seconds left, and then we'll
Okay.
talk. And we'll
All
probably
right.
try it. Yeah, we'll talk a little more. We'll play ammunition, then we'll do another stop set and come out of that with Dave.
Perfect.
Cool. How's the Facebook stream doing? Like,
Everything's really good.
is it? Oh, do
Yeah.
you? Is that what you're looking at?
Mhm.
Or okay.
Oh, cool.
So you guys played like this. Oh wait, I guess we're gonna play Saturday. Then you have a break. We'll get into it too.
Yeah.
Did you see It is a newly re-recorded version of Switchfoot's "More Than Fine." I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying it properly every time I'm saying it. It's Hillary on 91X with Switchfoot here in the studio with me. Look at this, the Beautiful Letdown Hour version, which is a newly re-recorded 20th anniversary celebration of Beautiful Letdown.
That sounds great.
That
I mean,
good?
yeah.
All right.
I need that on my answer machine.
You got it. You got it.
Celebration.
It is celebrating the 3 years of this album that really changed things or started to change things for you guys. Do you remember the first like tour after this album came out and started to get some airplay, where maybe shows started to feel bigger, people
Yeah,
were singing things back to you? Tell me about that. Chad, your turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
We decided to go out and tour this album and put it out independently, through an independent label, and just grind it out in a couple minivans. And I think
So you got to tell them the full story of that.
Why
though.
were we in?
Why
three
were we in
vehicles?
3 vehicles in Florida?
Well, I remember being in a little compact car with my wife and my newborn son, and following you guys.
But
So
we
the reason was
Yeah.
this was after 9/11, and they changed the rules on
Rental
how
policy.
you can
Oh,
rent
that's
15
right.
passenger vans.
Yeah, that's right.
And this was our first time renting a 15 passenger, because being from San Diego, you're not going to drive all the way to Florida. Typically, we would rent a 15 passenger one way, and they would look at how many miles we put on it when we returned it, and they kind of like do a double take, because
go
drive it
unlimited
all
miles.
around the
Yeah.
country for 3 months. But, so we show up like usual to rent a 15 passenger, and they inform us that that's no longer legal to do a one-way 15 passenger.
You couldn't
rental.
cross state lines.
Yeah, that changed after 9/11.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So then we had to
Took a minute,
scramble.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we are, day
Three
one.
cars.
Yeah.
So we had 3 cars, and we were like doing 13-hour drives and 2 minivans and a sedan.
Playing tiny clubs up the East Coast.
Yeah, but I remember they just kept like it was venues started getting sold out earlier and earlier,
Uh-huh.
and you started like they'd upgrade you to the bigger room
Uh-huh.
kind of thing.
Sure.
And it was like
Or there'd be like 200 or 300 kids outside the venue, like more people outside the venue than inside the venue some nights.
Yeah.
And John would start doing after shows,
Oh yeah.
take his guitar out, or sometimes even before our show, just kind of go out and stand on the roof of our minivan.
Out on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
rock and
Play
roll.
until the cops shut it
The
down.
roofs of minivans.
That's right. Yeah.
Gotta bring the music to the people.
That's right.
25 minivan roofs.
That's right. Let's go.
Well, we are playing every song from this new hour version of the Beautiful Letdown. Ammunition. Let's get into this one. What changes did you make? Can you explain anything in particular that you changed in this new version of it?
So it's interesting because the lyrics are pretty much the same. There's a few minor tweaks, but I feel like this song feels more apropos
Yes.
now than it did even then.
does. Totally.
And it's so odd to sing something that you wrote 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, I hate that this is more true now about the human condition. Yeah, so I think for me, the re-record, so many things that we've learned over the years, that the sonic textures are so much easier to get better than they were back then. And we have more time. This whole record was recorded in 2 weeks, and we could take our time. We have our own studio now where we can say, I'm going to go home and I'm going to go surfing and we'll finish this tomorrow, whatever it is. Whereas it was like, oh my gosh, we got to finish it tonight. This was, every day we were doing 2 or 3 songs. So I think the biggest difference for me with this one was just as I was singing the lyrics, kind of processing the morning of, just the fractures within that which country that I love, and the people that I love, and all these things that I feel like I've gotten. I guess I hate to use the word, but I mourn for the ground we've covered since over the course of the last 20 years. So that's what I think of with this song.
I was thinking about the fact you mentioned differences or things we've learned. I didn't know how to play with a pick back then when we made the album. As a bass player, I just used fingers, never used a pick. Didn't know how.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine. It's just bass.
But that's Ammunition is a song where it's kind of a more aggressive tone that you want out of the bass. And since 20 years later, I have learned how to play with a pick. So yeah.
You recorded this
that's like one of
with a
the
pick?
Great, man.
For all the bass players listening out there, that's the nerdy update on this.
Love
I
it.
hope.
Let's
That's right.
do it. This is Ammunition, a new re-recorded version of Switchfoot on 91X. All right. Cool. After this, we'll do a quick one and then get into commercials again. And
Appreciate your honesty.
so a pick just gives it a different sound? Or?
Yeah.
Hear that tack.
It's more aggressive
Uh-huh.
sound.
Whereas this is more low end.
Oh, and you-
You gotta earn it.
That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was crazy. It's sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop putting it in.
Yeah. This song feels very, it feels like San Diego, no knife.
Yes,
I
that's
feel like
funny.
There's a lot of San Diego, and you hear sometimes pop out of the speakers like that sounds like
Totally.
San Diego,
I wonder if there was a song I was listening to, and I totally thought that. It was this one. It totally does. That's funny.
Ferguson, right?
Yeah, no knife, right?
Yeah, I've toured
Yeah.
with us.
Really?
Probably Beautiful Letdown. No, it was a few later, but
He was like, I'll follow behind you in a truck. I've got a truck and a guitar, and we're looking at the drives. It's like 14-hour drives. We're touring through Canada in this winter time, and I'm like, no, just hop on the bus. Like, we got an extra bus.
he left his truck out.
Yeah, and left his truck in LA. And we're like, I don't want you to die. Like, you're gonna die, and that's gonna be on our hands. So just hop in the bus. And he finished the tour.
Oh, did he
Yeah.
open for you?
Yeah.
Played with
Yeah,
you?
he opened.
Yeah, just him and an acoustic guitar. It was awesome.
He's such a great.
Yeah, his solo stuff.
Yeah, but No Knife, I love No Knife.
I did too. We played a no knife song. I want to say I first started here in '97 and we played.
Good man dreams.
Drunk in the Moon.
That sounds no. We played Testing the Model.
Oh yeah.
Some faces tie your laces, they're outside.
So good.
So say.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So they would tune up a half step or two.
I don't know. Either half step or whole step. They tune the guitars up.
They
What,
break
so
a ton of strings.
speak to me in layman's terms. Like, what does
So,
that
that
mean
means
for the
it's-
sound?
It's instead of being here, it's up here. So the guitar
And you
is
can't get that by just playing a different note.
You can, but it does. It's just the tension on the strings is tighter, so it's subtle, but it's like a more sounds exotic.
Yes.
So it's an exotic sound. Like
overtones. Everything feels like kind of brittle.
one of the things that makes them.
intensity.
Yeah, they used to say their sound was audio karate, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
A little more aggressive.
Yeah.
More exciting.
Like some bands, a lot of heavy metal bands will down tune. Like they'll go down to drop E or something. They went the other way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Nice.
Ammunition on 91X. Switchfoot, it's Hillary. I've got Tim, Chad, and John here in the studio with me, and we are taking these couple hours to go song by song through the newly re-recorded version of The Beautiful Letdown. It came out in May. You can stream it. You can listen to it anywhere. And it's so cool to listen to it, kind of listen to the original version of The Beautiful Letdown and then give the new our version a listen, because there are some subtle differences and then there's some kind of powerful differences, and it's fun to sort of pick through it and go, oh yeah, listen to that. And that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're listening to all the new versions and discussing with the guys here. So stoked to have you guys here.
Yes, thank you for having us.
We're streaming this live on YouTube, so you can watch along with at home if you want to say hello to the guys and chime in with your thoughts and comments on Facebook too, I think. Also, I keep forgetting to tease this. We have like a very cool announcement to make later in the program. But if you're a Switchfoot fan, you are going to want to hear this because it is so damn cool. So we'll come right back with mine and probably a lot of people's favorite song from this record. It's so special to me and to a lot of us. So we will visit Dare You to Move next on 91X. My daughter and I were driving this afternoon.
Yeah.
She's 16 now. Which is crazy. Yeah. And
I've got a 16-year-old daughter.
You do?
Yep.
Did she go to SDA or she? Oh, yeah. So does Finn.
Oh, no way.
That's cool. Yeah.
Maybe they know each other.
Finn's cool name.
Well, right now,
Yeah.
Finley, but yeah, she's like Finn. But we were driving today, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this thing, and she's like, awesome, blah. And I think she's
Yeah, she came to the studio.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's right. She
Yeah.
came a couple times then because she
Yeah.
was at the movie screening too. That's right. Totally. So Finn and I were driving and I was listening to David Move, and we were having a moment. We were on the freeway and we were like, there was a huge semi right next to us and we were belting it out. It was so fun.
Loved it.
And we were screaming, and it was just, it's pure joy. So,
Oh,
Very cool.
yeah. Any more questions?
I have a bunch.
What do you got?
So I got, let's see which one first. One from Lee that asks, are all of you guys self-taught?
Yeah, I mean, I think self-taught is hard because it claims this like superpower. Like, I think you're never true. No one's self-taught truly. You kind of like, you get a little, you're playing with your buddy and you say, how did you do that? And you figure things out.
Or even like, I just learned a bunch of Beatles songs. So like, Paul taught me.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney was a bass teacher.
Yeah.
All right, I got another one. A lot of people have been asking, what is each one of yours favorite thing to do in SD? Perfect day or just favorite thing in general?
Nice. We have 1 minute, less than 1 minute.
Each.
Guys.
Okay.
Surfing.
Yeah.
Always free diving. You think ocean?
Free diving.
Yeah.
Are you like practicing holding your breath and going as deep as you can, like that kind of free diving, or just like?
I mean, yeah, I don't really. Holding the breath part is just a way to
Means to end.
explore things.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not like that's not the thing I get excited about.
Right now.
You-
Just getting down and seeing.
I just love exploring.
He
Yeah.
goes so deep.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You really can't hold your breath a long time.
We were in
Really?
Guam, crystal clear water, and I'm like, I'll go down with him. I see his fins disappear. The blackness.
Like
White
100
fins.
feet
And I'm
now.
down like
Oh, you're
30, 40
kidding.
feet, 50 feet maybe.
Maybe he's just gone.
So yeah.
He's a fish.
Oh no, I didn't want to just start. Sorry, I'm going to stop this.
Stop you there.
Totally going to stop Dare You to Move, everybody. Sorry.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
And the wrong.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
I was getting distracted by talking free diving.
Oh, yeah.
That was so interesting. Really quick, just to fill everybody in, Tim has been free diving, and you were in Guam, and John, you and Trevor.
Oh, Tim is a
he
fish.
goes really deep.
It just goes
Away,
like
away.
yeah, crystal clear water. You can see, I mean, whatever. And I just watch his white fins disappear into the blackness below me, and I'm like 35, 40 feet down, and I'm like, if anything happens, good luck.
You're on your own, brother. We are spending this time celebrating the 20th anniversary of Switchfoot's album, The Beautiful Letdown, an album that, kind of started the ball rolling in a really big way for you guys.
Yeah.
And 91X embraced it when it came out and played Meant to Live. Was that the first single? Do you guys remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Dare You to Move had already been released, right?
Yeah, that was the song that
released?
the record label executive walked out on.
No way.
Yes.
I am offended
So
by that.
he was
I
like,
love that song.
why do you keep signing this expletive? And yeah, so I mean, and that's, I think that, those are stories that for me, it's not like that stupid guy. I genuinely am thankful that we have had the story that we've had. And I'm also thankful that I know now everyone's got it.
Yeah.
Right. Because that is music, that's life, that's the world we live in. It's very freeing when you realize, oh, well, maybe I'm just not for everyone.
Mhm.
And to be okay with that.
I have to do it every day. Yes, absolutely. Totally. Yeah. It is free because then you do what you guys want to do.
And no one is. No one is for everyone. No
Right.
one's music is for everyone.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah, this is a song we believe in.
Yeah.
I hope it connects with you. That's all you can do.
Well, this
Yeah.
one has connected with a lot of people.
Mm.
This is the song, yeah, when I was looking at your stats, I was researching your statistics. You've, it looks like you played this one the most live.
With a batting average.
And yet I still forget the words. So there is that.
But it is truly like a communal experience of joy and like heart expanding seeing you guys play this live, whether it's in a tiny room for a 91X session or to a massive crowd singing along, singing it back to you guys. Have you ever had a moment where you've played this and gotten like choked up, or is that just me? You get choked up when I hear
the
it?
wild thing about music is it's like a magic trick that has to work on the magician as well. Like, I think that you, like, genuinely, the rabbit comes out of the hat and you're like, oh my gosh, look, there's a rabbit. I feel like that so many times with music. And the moment it becomes like, here's a rabbit, I want to just kind of quit, because I think that the magic of music has to work on everyone in the room, including the guy who's singing it. That's what I want. And yeah, so this song, I think back, and it's kind of this strange existential Kierkegaardian inspired song, Welcome to the Planet. That's such a weird song to sing, like welcome to existence. So I don't know who wrote this song, but apparently we did, It's one of those.
I think though that makes it relatable to so many people, because when I hear it sounds like it could be sung to a newborn. It could be sung to an addict trying to get clean. It could be sung to someone dealing with mental health struggles and trying to help themselves out or get the help they need. It means a lot to, I think, a lot of different people and circumstances and stuff. And maybe that's why it resonates so widely. So
today can be day one. Like at any given moment.
All right, let's play it. I love this song so much. This is the newly re-recorded version that Switchfoot just released. Here you can move from the 20th anniversary. Beautiful Letdown. It's next. So much, guys.
I love this song too. It's probably, if there's like a Switchfoot song, this is probably it. People ask us that all the time, and it's hard to like this. I just love this song. I mean, it's surprising to me still. I'm like, oh,
it's
surprising.
Like uplift. I don't know. It just does all the good things. All right, how we living? Good stuff from people. Questions that I'm not going to ask.
Yes. My favorite one so far, arguably the most important. What is your guys' opinion on ducks?
They eat free at Subway, according to Mitch Hedberg, which is an important distinction.
That's comedians out there.
We've had ducks move into our neighborhood actually, and not everyone was a duck fan, which was surprising because I thought everyone was up for ducks. But apparently, Some of the neighbors think they're messy.
Who's asking? Maybe it's somebody at your HOA.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on ducks?
For
But St. Francis says you cannot love God and hate pigeons. I don't know if the same is true about ducks, but there's
That
something
makes
there.
sense to me,
They even
though.
wag their tails like a dog, you know, when they're excited or happy.
Waddling.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any interesting pre-show or post-show rituals?
I'm gonna allow Chad to show his pre-show
Oh, okay.
ritual.
Well, yeah. So drummers got to warm up their hands, and you could get sticks in a drum pad, and
The
then
following
waste all your energy.
Maybe make it take
Or
before something that's not a show. So this
or
is
you
unusual.
use energy for
Yeah.
good, right? You don't want to waste it.
Oh,
this
there you
going.
go.
He's going easy.
Yeah.
He's going very easy.
it's typically like just right on that
You really
threshold.
do that? I love it if you do.
Yeah.
every show.
You don't want to waste the energy. You got to expend
Feels
it.
great.
Yeah.
It's good.
It feels good afterwards, not so much. Doing it.
Yeah, time for another one?
It's just curious. Like, do all of you, like, I'm sure you probably do vocal exercises, but do all of you,
I
like,
don't.
warm up
No.
for real?
No. Yes. Hey, just eat some ice cream.
Yeah. Ice cream, coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, do you warm up, you know?
I try and
do you
stretch,
limber up? Yeah.
No, I nowadays I'll just kind of like do like these, try and touch the toes. There you go. You're like, all right,
Loosen up.
okay, here we go.
Mhm, okay.
That's about it.
Right.
I do try and mentally get prepared. That's something that I try and do more now. Try and get into what are we communicating? What are we trying to say? Feel that sort of thing.
You guys have a little band moment right before you go on stage?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
on stage?
Absolutely. Get together, huddle up,
Yeah.
express love, pray. Talk through the set list, that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set the vibe and the intention.
Yeah. And the community has to start with us in that small group. That's what
Sure.
you're hoping for, is that the community would transcend the stage.
That makes perfect sense because people feel that, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys are giving out is what they're going to take in.
Right.
That's just stating the obvious, but you know,
No, it's true.
you know. All right. The chat for redemption. Just making sure I have all the right buttons pushed so it doesn't go right into it. Dare you to move the newly re-recorded version from the Beautiful Letdown at Tillery with Switchfoot in the studio here at 91X, and we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the release of this album. You can stream this. You can find this record anywhere. I saw like the vinyl is some of the maybe limited edition colored vinyls already sold out, but you can buy it too, right? On switchfoot.com.
Yep.
Ways to get your hands on this. And we do have a very cool Switchfoot announcement coming up a little bit
Yes.
later in
I'm so
this.
excited.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Gary, it's going to be awesome. So for redemption, actually for all of these songs, and someone asked this in the chat a little bit earlier, but I squashed it because I wanted to ask this live on the air.
No.
Yeah.
My question.
Don't say a word. 20 years, a lot of technology has changed in 20 years. When you say you recorded this at your studio, is that the one in North County
Yep.
that I was at? Okay.
Yes.
So cool. I
You've
wish
been there,
everybody could visit
yeah,
it. It's really neat. You drive up and you think there's no way
I'm
there's
at the
gonna
wrong
be
spot.
a vibe in this building. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you go inside and are totally transported. So with technology having evolved over 20 years, how did that factor into this re-recording?
Let's even just think back a second. 20 years, you don't have an
Oh wow, yeah.
iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So like,
Did you have a flip phone? Maybe?
I mean, it is
Maybe.
unbelievable how like that alone changes everything. But yeah, the technology. I think it's also not just what's available, because so much of music is backward looking. We all love the Beatles, Stones, and Zeppelin, and we all want our guitarists to sound like that. So many of those things are backwards weird. I think the thing that we experienced with this one is that we know how to get the things that we want now. Whereas with this album, this was the first time that we were kind of a little bit more of a prepared band, that we knew a little bit how to get there.
With,
And then,
with the original version, you mean?
with the original
Okay.
one was just an exception of that, where
Mhm.
and 20 years
Our
later,
fourth album, you've done it
Yeah.
a few times.
Sure.
yeah, but now,
Toured, multiple laps around the country.
but this one, I felt like, okay, we can. It's almost like you're looking for ways to mess it up in a good way. That's what our motto is always in the studio. Like, I think Beautiful Letdown, even the title, is kind of hinting at that. You want to be broken, messed up, honest in a way that feels compelling. And I feel like on this album, it's easier to get there than it was 20 years ago.
Mhm. Almost like there's more humanity in that, right? A little bit of brokenness, but it's ironic that we're talking about using technology to achieve that. But
where you can just there's mics and ways to get a finished product that might be more expedient that we could have used back then because we had to, like, quick, let's just track this, and then now you can go, let's swap that mic out and see if we can get a sound that feels like a little bit more compelling.
Well, this album was right kind of as recording with computers was starting, in a mainstream way. And so there was still the question of, are we going to cut to tape or straight to Pro Tools or, whatever your software you're using. And we still stuck with tape on this album.
For two notable exceptions.
The only two we didn't, Meant to Live and Dare to Move.
no way.
Because the tape machine was broken for Dare. It's just funny where you're like, so if you want to talk about fidelity, and tape does sound better, but if you have a good song, it beats, like I always say, a great idea is better than a great studio.
I like that.
I think another thing that was interesting about making this album is we went in thinking it was our last album.
Why?
None of the bands that we grew up going to see shows ever made albums,
Yeah. That's
And
funny.
life was moving on. Chad had just had a kid. You're at that point where you're like, okay, like, I mean, this is
Been a good
I
run.
love this. This is great, but is this like a sustainable thing for another 2, 3, 4 years? Probably not. And so we were like, okay, there's kind of this existential moment of, well, let's make like the Switchfoot album. Leave nothing on the table, and so we can walk away heads held high that we made exactly the album we want to make.
It really felt like that. It felt like this is our grand hurrah.
Yeah.
24 living at home, you're like, okay, like probably go back to school and get a degree. And that was exactly the mentality.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And look at it go. All right, we're going to do a little station ID and then continue with Redemption.
It's so cool that you guys.
I'm going to start the song, but just talk a little tiny bit over the ramp. With Switchfoot live in studio, we are revisiting the Beautiful Letdown and listening to their new re-recorded versions, like this, our version of Redemption on 91X. Cool. We're doing pretty good on time.
Cool. I know it's so cool that 91X celebrating 40 years.
Yeah,
that
is
numbers
cool.
lined up nice.
And loudspeaker 35.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, really. All right, we're doing good. Maybe we'll go right into the Beautiful Letdown. Yeah. Not loud.
Want me to ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Since it's a Comic-Con week and Meant to Live was on Spider-Man 2,
Yes.
somebody asked if you have any cool stories about how that happened.
So I remember filming the video, and this is back in like big budget music video days. They just basically put out a couple blocks downtown LA. Just shut it down.
It's bonkers. Like I can't imagine how much that video.
And we're just walking through the streets, and it's just shut down. It's like we're the only people there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then obviously Spider-Man, all the scenes like coming in and out.
And they had like it's like 1,000 foot of mic cable because that was kind of like if you notice you're walking and it's
hard to notice.
Yeah,
but yeah, there was a mic cable that goes the entire length of the street that we were on, and it's
around the corner.
Really high quality microphone cable that they bought.
Oh right.
Yeah.
And at the end, they were
That's for the video.
Yeah.
It was Mogami, which is like ridiculously expensive cable. At the end of the video, they were like, I mean, we don't need it.
We're just gonna throw it away. And we're like, yeah, well, it sits in our studio. We don't know what to do with it, but it's very high quality.
So
We made a few cables out of it. We're like, that wasn't a good use of time.
We filmed that video from like maybe started at like 9 p.m. till sunrise the whole night. I just remember drinking coffee at like 3 in the morning, trying to stay awake to keep going.
Hanging with Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
That's so cool, you guys. What a life you've been afforded because of this band. Like, it's so many good moments, huh? Like, all right.
Spideyverse. Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, verse. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. That is Redemption, Switchfoot here on 91X. It's Hillary, and I am live in the studio with Switchfoot. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Jerome, wherever you are.
Yes.
And
It's in the multiverse.
okay.
Yeah.
In
the Spideyverse.
Yes, we're beaming him in through that. So we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Beautiful Letdown. I'm going to play the title track here in just a sec. And, I wanted to ask, of all these songs, do maybe each of you can tell me if you had a favorite one to revisit during this process?
Mm-hmm. That last one we just played was really interesting. Just it's a very quirky, nuanced song. I think it channels a little bit of like some Cure energy in there, like but in the intro.
Like streams.
Yeah, and I remember most of that was recorded. Demo that we took a lot of that stuff from was in this place I was running up in North County, and so I can picture the vibe, my little laptop or my little computer setup.
Like at your house, John?
Yeah.
Or apartment? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So like, I mean, this whole thing, it's all just on a budget and really recorded as cheap as we could because it's our money. And yeah, but it's a blast. I have so many fond memories of, kind of pushing the limits of what we've ever done before.
Literally running from room to room. Like we had stations set up and we were just working so fast that you're like, your heart's pumping, you're like running to grab a guitar, running.
Yeah, you're paying by the hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's so funny. Chad, do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That song you played, Ammunition.
Yeah.
I remember specifically the intro. We had the drums set up, and then you guys were doing percussion in the hallway of the studio to try to get this ambient vibe happening. And
yes, and that's my friend Matt Beckley's laugh that starts that track off.
Oh.
He is the guy who lent me a bunch of amps. He has produced all sorts of different people. Worked with Katy Perry and what's her name? Cabela.
Oh,
Camila Cabela. Yeah. But all those types of people. His dad, amazing musician in America. So like he's just in the room. His laugh.
He's a Dodgers fan, but that's the only bad thing.
Yeah. Right. I'm never going to listen to it the same way again.
I know.
So This is what, yeah, Matt's an amazing guy. That's his only flaw.
That is a big one.
We're still friends. We're still friends. That's my point.
Working through it.
Ammunition is appropriate. That starts that. No, but yeah, so many fun like little accidental moments that happen when you're moving that fast because it's like, yeah, that's the way it's gonna start. Laugh. Okay, go.
I love that. Well, and you did. I feel like there's just certain things that you recreated on this.
We got him
version.
to laugh
Okay,
again
that's awesome.
into his phone and send it down.
Oh,
Because I had tried to recreate it and it was not.
Some people
You ruined it, Tim.
let's play the title track now of this beautiful album, The Beautiful Letdown. This is the new version that Switchfoot recorded and released in May. We're live on 91X.
1090 for the Beatles version of this album, the Beautiful.
Oh my god. There's something there, dude.
When they cover the album.
Yeah. Where it's like just mashups.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, this is how committed Matt Beckley, if he's watching, I don't want him to feel like he got me, but when San Diego lost out of their playoff chances 2 years ago,
Yeah.
sent me a Dodger uniform with my name on the back.
No.
It just arrived at my house, and it was just this unmarked box. I don't know who it was from, and I'm like, freaking Matt Beckley, dude.
You knew.
I knew it. I'm like,
So
and I hadn't talked to him in months. I'm just like, Matt. He's like, it was me. Yeah.
That's
So,
too
What'd
funny.
you do with the uniform?
Burned it, I hope.
Yeah. Did a bunch of things I can't mention on the air to it. Yeah. And then burned it.
Cleansing, there was like sage.
Yeah.
My husband went into the PB, or maybe not the PB Vaughn, but like our local, maybe it's the Ralph's in PB, like yesterday or the day before, and he came home. He was like, "Dude, I walked into Vaughn's and they had Dodgers peanuts and
Yeah.
Braves peanuts, and next to the Padres peanuts." He was so pissed. I was
I
like,
know.
"What are they doing?"
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selling out.
Vaughn. We're watching you, Vaughn.
Yeah. Lisa, did Lisa have anything? She was in here.
I have some more.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any specific riders must-haves for the green room when touring? That's from Lee.
Oh, like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
M&M's or whatever.
Yeah.
So the thing that we have found that is almost impossible to get around the country that we have in abundance here, obviously Mexican food. So
Oh yeah.
you say chips and salsa, and
Mhm.
like you go to your local grocery store, you got like a bunch of great options of local this and that, and go to Iowa, and so like
I love that that's like our exotic.
I'm just saying.
It's like, no, like good.
You guys know
salsa.
how.
Yeah, like the top shelf.
So we will say like it's on our rider the hottest salsa is fine because
Oh.
it's usually like what is that, the Tostitos?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like
Yes.
medium, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah. So that's how crazy we get out the road. And a zebra dipped in chocolate, but yeah, everyone's got those.
What was the process of picking and sequencing the songs that became The Beautiful Letdown?
Good question.
Can we save that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is that too? Well, no, that's good. Let's save that one. Who
Okay.
asked that? Tell him we'll save it.
Aaron.
Aaron,
Aaron, we
we're
will
gonna
save
save that. Thank you.
Is that AA? Aaron?
Aaron.
Is it, yeah, or is it E? It's an AA.
AA.
Okay, we'll save that one.
Aaron.
Do we short one then?
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-shows versus after shows. Which are your favorite?
I mean, they're both. Never thought about it.
I like being done.
Chad will go finish a set and go for a run and do a workout.
Will you really?
Truth. And I'm like,
And you know,
and
sweaty.
Is it
The
like
good
you
thing is it counts for all of us.
Yeah.
So we all get
so I get to have
There you
extra
go.
cookies and
Yeah.
gotta burn off the chips and salsa? Dude.
Exactly.
Is it because you have more energy? I mean, you're drumming. That
Yeah, that's just, it's like you know, you get off stage, you're all hot and sweaty. It's like, well, you might as well keep it going. You're all warmed up, you know.
Good for you. Because that just playing a show for any of you guys, it's like a workout, but drums, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Well, more relaxed after the show. The pre-show jitters thing, it's like nervous energy. It's like
Do you still get
Get
the
it.
jitters
Get
a
it.
little bit before shows?
a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
You want,
Yeah.
you want a little.
And you still feel the
Makes you
butterflies.
focus. Yeah,
I had butterflies tonight before you guys were coming. I was like,
Right.
sure, you know.
Deep breath.
Yes, totally. All right. So we're going to ask Aaron's question.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to go right into spots. We'll come back with Aaron's question. I'll do that. That is the title track from the Beautiful Letdown, Switchfoot here on 91X. That is the new hour version, the collective hour, the all of us.
The royal we.
Yes, the Royal We. Who has a song? Silverstone Pickups have a song called The Royal We. That is a side note. I'm here with Switchfoot. I've got Chad, Tim, and John, and they're hanging out for a while. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Beautiful Letdown by playing all the songs of their newly released, newly re-recorded version of each of the songs from the album. Well, we just got a great question from Aaron on the live stream, so I will ask that, and we're going to play the new recorded version, newly recorded. See, I'm stumbling over this every time.
Yeah.
Version of Gone in just a few.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm trying to like do it justice every time, and it's a little bit of a deal. But I think we get the point. Okay, yes, Neil, you
Got some time for some more?
yes.
Okay, actually, I really like this one. Do you have a favorite memory or memories of playing early local shows in the 90s?
Oh,
Yeah. So Tim and I were in a band in high school. You know, we called ourselves Etc. And we had a CD that we recorded. And I remember the CD release party was at our friend's furniture repair shop.
Oh.
Right? Where there's a parking lot now, but it was on E Street. And it's Encinitas, where the bus station parking lot is. But it was literally on table saws and like furniture repair equipment, and it was so dangerous and so against code. But we're like, yeah, we're in high school, Tim's in junior high. It's like, this is a great place.
Well, the trade was like he would let us play there if we would help him clean it out during the day.
Yeah, so we cleaned out all the
Cleaning it out.
sawdust and wood chip, and then kids like sitting on table saws listening to us play
So fun.
that
I
night.
love it.
Yeah.
What local venue maybe was like your first, you know?
Yeah, because we
Really?
played a lot of like backyard parties,
Mhm.
that sort of thing.
Mhm.
I remember the first album we did a CD release party at La Paloma.
Oh,
We
that's
did
cool.
Soma, that other Etc. as well.
Right.
That's like the old Soma,
Old,
South
yeah.
of Market.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And we worked our way up. We sold out the side room so we could open for a national act, and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, those are fun days because that was the dream.
Coffee shops were a thing back then too.
Sure.
Remember, like
Yeah.
every coffee shop would have like open mic night or whatever. And you
Yes.
could kind of like do like a strip down set, or sometimes just kind of blow the roof off.
That's like what I did in college.
Yeah.
Before I was 21, was the coffee shops. Yeah. That's
We would play like
cool.
at UCSD coffee shops.
Miracles. up
Yep.
in County.
We played belly up a few times. I'd be like the underage kids. I had to go outside and
Mm-hmm.
We all
after
were.
that.
Yeah. So much. It's funny because, like you say, backyard, like barbecue kind of thing, and I didn't see it as a slant because it would be like so many amazing bands that we would see there.
Mhm.
You know, Boilermaker, whoever. Where you're like those were our heroes,
Yeah.
and the dream was like, man, we could do a tour up the coast of California. How sick would that be? That was like Oh my gosh! If we could only do that, that was the goal.
Yeah.
I love that. What we have 1 minute. What was like your first tour that was then? Like, do you remember what little cities did you stay in California or like?
So we when we got signed to this label called Rethink, the last time we were able to go to Europe.
Oh.
Right after he graduated from high school.
Wow. As Switchfoot?
Yeah, Switchfoot.
Nice.
And we were opening for like a couple festivals and opening for them. There's like 4 or 5 dates, maybe 3.
Yeah, I just remember we had a couple festivals where we were playing at like 10 in the morning or whatever. And then we were playing a couple like free, like, oh yeah, you can play at this record store, you know, those kind of shows. But we call it a tour, you know. And we got near the end of the tour, and
We have 8 seconds.
Okay.
So, you know.
It's a great
gotta run.
story.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Can we keep going on the air? Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. The Tillery here on 91X with Tim, John, and Chad from Switchfoot. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of their album, The Beautiful Letdown, by listening to all the newly re-recorded versions of the songs. But Tim was just in the middle of a story about your first time that you toured in Europe, and you were playing like early slots at festivals and record
yeah,
shows.
and it actually happened to be our first tour.
Wait, what happened to his microphone? Anyone?
Oh, I cut him off.
You did?
I don't want him to talk.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I was saying
That was my fault.
it actually happened to be our first tour ever, like real tour, and we played like LA and stuff.
Tim graduated from high school, went to Europe.
Yeah.
And
It sounds more exotic than it was, like European tour, but it was we had
4
a few
places
like
probably.
yeah, we had a few
Don't downplay it.
10 a.m. slots on festivals, you know,
Still,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
and we were playing a couple record stores.
We had like 2 or 3 days off near the end of the trip, right?
That's right. And we saw the surf forecast in France, and it was really good.
Oh.
And we had enough money to either, sleep in our hotel room or take the train to France. So we stayed up all night. We checked out of our hotel room a day early and slept in the park during the day so we could save our money to go to France. Surfed amazing waves for a couple days, ran out of money. Sent Chad to the
Ran into
store.
Aki. I remember.
No, was it Biarritz, or how do you say?
Yeah.
Biarritz.
Yeah, Biarritz,
Yeah.
okay.
Probably still butchering it.
Yeah. Pardon his French.
Biarritz.
I remember there was this pivotal moment at the end where we had like $20 left.
Oh.
Apparently we didn't have ATMs, or I don't know exactly
We
how.
were very strict on our budget because we're like, we're trying to be professional. We're not trying to go into debt. We're trying to actually like at least break even.
And we sent Chad as our most responsible oldest member to the store, and he came back with tomatoes,
A loaf of bread, and I think there's bananas and maybe some cheese.
and we were like, John and I were pretty disappointed with the tomato choice.
Well, you in particular.
I was not a tomato fan at the time, and now I love them ever since. You know, I was
So
forced.
thank you, Chad.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
appreciate you for expanding my palate.
Quite
It
literally.
was a special place in your
I was like,
heart.
not why you could get a thing of peanut butter with the bread, like
He was going for pizza,
Yeah,
maybe,
beans,
you know,
Right? Yeah.
kind of near Italy. So Aaron in the live chat just had a good question. It was, and you guys heard it. So it was about how did you narrow down the song choices for the original, The Beautiful Letdown? How did you
Yeah.
pick them out?
oh yeah, in sequence there, right?
Yes, yes.
That's a great question. I mean, the funny thing, again, we're talking about this 20 years later, which is, I mean, it's such a gift. I just want to state the obvious. I'm so thankful to be here. So thankful that these songs have taken us around the world. And, but at the time, you're not thinking about like, wow, we're going to be talking about this 20 years from now. You're kind of just, oh, I like this one. This is nice. Oh, this one's fun. You know, like they're very broad stroke. I wrote this one yesterday. I mean, I remember Meant to Live. I hadn't gotten around to demoing that one. The first time we ever played it as a band was in the studio. Like that, the first day we started recording, we pressed record, and I'm like, I got this new one. I think it's a pretty good one. I hear it going like this. We press record, and that's Meant to Live. You know, it's just really okay. That's great. What are we gonna do after lunch? I mean, it was just very natural. I don't remember overthinking it. You know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you had this huge batch and took all this time whittling it down. It was like, this is what feels right. This is what we have right now. This is where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, we always have a ton of songs, but these, I remember this one was just, well, these are obviously the ones we like. There's no disagreement. It's just rare to be brothers, you know?
Yeah.
That's true. And it's interesting that it sounds like you're saying like it just really captured where you were 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
As a band and as humans. And now listening to the songs 20 years later, and especially listening to these newly re-recorded versions of the songs, thematically you kind of painted with a broad brush because so much of it still rings true or hits you right here in the feels and actually still makes sense in the context of today and what's happening in our world. So it's kind of very cool, for lack of a better word, that this album that it sounds like you're saying it was kind of spontaneous, the creation of it and the songs that you decided to use, but it's really stood the test of time.
Yeah, and it is interesting. I think that the thing, a lot of times, that which you're drawn to in the moment, there's a reason for that before you begin to overthink it. And I think that there is something to be said for, the transcendent element of that intuition, that might drive a record like this, especially if you think of it like, it's our last record. Okay, the songs get a whole lot easier to select than, it becomes a razor's edge that is much more helpful.
I mean, you use the term like trying to capture a song or an idea. When you think about that choice of words, it's kind of interesting. Like it's this like wild animal, there's strategy involved. Are you gonna
sneak up on him?
Right. And you kind of do. I mean, we still try and sneak up on some projects and not get too heavy with them. Just kind of stay in the moment.
I sneak up on Tim all the time.
That's right.
Sure, he loves that.
Yeah.
Let's play Gone from the re-recorded version.
Okay, I have a story about this one.
Good.
Okay,
I was just going to roll right into
the
it.
beginning of this, you hear this sampled version of my friend who left a voice memo on it that says like, and it's a mangled version of what he left on my voice machine back in the day.
Okay.
And we had him call and recreate it for this album. So that's what you're going to hear at the beginning of it.
Because
Connor Irwin, yes.
I thought it was just like an electronic noise or something, but no, this is
a person.
This is Connor.
Yes. This is pre-AI as well. So
more impressive. Switchfoot, this is Gone from the Beautiful Letdown, our version right here on X. Get it, Connor. That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna roll. This song is like, I love it. I'm gonna roll into On Fire. Right, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, this one's so funny because it's like such a happy song.
Yeah.
About how we're all gonna die. But I think it's so apropos where you're like, yeah, let's sing a happy one about that.
All right. How we doing, Neil? We good?
Good. I have another Comic-Con-esque question. Are you guys Star Wars fans?
Yes.
Okay. So, if The Beautiful Letdown was the equivalent of a Star Wars A New Hope, which albums would be Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi?
Chat.
Nothing is Sound is Empire Strikes Back. Agreed. And Hello Hurricane is Return of the Jedi.
Oh, all right.
Like it.
Right.
You didn't even hesitate.
Didn't think about it. Yeah. Okay. What about like the prequels?
It's weird.
Chad majored in history of science and history of Star Wars.
Yes.
I have to tell you something. When my daughter was first born, I had a bumper sticker on my car that said, "Episode 4 comes first. It's just good parenting."
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I've
never seen them good.
Yeah, I was so excited
Episode 4
yeah.
comes first.
You know what's wild? So my daughter is just now entering the age where she she's excited about him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said that, I'm like, I haven't thought about this. Maybe I should go episode 4 first. Yeah.
That's important
It's
stuff.
fine. This
I
is
think
these are the
it's
things.
just
Yeah.
I came out of like Target one time, the Target in Encinitas, and I was like walking to my car, and some guy was like, "What is he doing?" And he was totally taking pictures of it. Like,
Yeah, that's good.
So you guys, can I ask you? In Oregon, it looks like you played the album already.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that on
Yeah,
there? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We did one show so far.
Okay. And I will ask about that. And then you guys have a show this Saturday somewhere, but then the tour doesn't really kick off till August. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We may or may not be playing at a football quarterback's house on Friday.
Oh,
And I've got a
Friday.
show at
Birthday
a,
party.
yeah.
Oh my God, how fun.
Yeah.
But we're not allowed to say who.
Yeah. Well,
Sure. Okay. That's cool.
But yeah. Yeah, so it's a funny weekend because I play the Bear in Paso Robles. Opening for, do you know Lauren
Robles, please.
Daigle?
Yeah.
So I play with her, and we
Awesome.
fly to Michigan for this thing, and then we do that show, and then
That's super cool.
yeah, it's fun. Just like little stuff.
Kind
for
of
the
one
tour.
up here and there.
Yeah, it's been good though, like warming up for the tour.
Right on.
Working in a lot of the new stuff. So
Cool.
that it's not like day one. I
Yeah.
haven't played any of these songs in 20 years.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm really curious about the quarterback. I can't even give a hint. Michigan. Mhm.
Mm.
oh,
Are you all
I
blind?
don't even know what team he plays
Yeah,
for.
Chad's gonna be the
Don't
person
ask
to
me.
talk about it. He won't
I'm
give
not
away
a
any
football guy.
information.
Okay. All
Before
right.
we go, I'll tell you
Okay.
some.
But this is
We
fascinating.
have taught him how to surf.
This person.
That's true.
Okay.
We did teach him.
That's cool. And so you like this person.
Yes.
Yeah, like exactly.
This is someone who is footing the bill for you and all your equipment and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is no joke. So
Yeah.
flying you out, putting you up.
Yeah.
And do you bring your own? You do like bring your own guitars and stuff, or do
Guitars.
they rent? stuff? Or do you,
So
like,
we're
backline
gonna.
or
It's gonna be
whatever?
more acoustic. It's gonna be like
Right.
yeah. So it's not gonna be like strobes and smoke. It's gonna be just yeah.
You should
Big
just
magic.
show up with all that.
Yeah,
just to,
dude.
Just to surprise you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Firewall. Like, yeah. Kabuki drop. He's like at his house, like 40 people.
Mhm.
I'm picturing Job from Arrested.
You don't have my illusions, Michael.
Well, that's cool. That is exciting. Testing out.
Whoa, the big announce.
Mm-hmm, big nuts.
Is it
So,
time?
almost. Let's do this. We'll come out of On Fire. We'll talk a wee bit more. We'll play Adding to the Noise, and then then we'll make them wait for commercials. What do we do here? Wah, wah, wah. And then if there's any songs, we may have a little time for you guys to play any songs. Like if there's any San Diego
Yeah.
bands you want to play, or any.
Yeah.
Sweep away my shadow.
Do
Oh
you
my
see it
gosh.
on here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna slide it down, and then if we do have time, we can play that and talk about Ferguson.
I mean, if we have time, I gotta play one of my son's songs.
Yeah.
Is he in here,
Jetty.
Tim? What's his band?
Jetty. It might not be labeled right in there. It might be Jet form.
Yes. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Can we be the ocean?
Oh, I love it. Let's do that. How old is Jet?
Just turned 18.
Nice. And is he at SDA too, or no?
He's Carlsbad.
Okay, cool. Well, Jet might have to bump out knife. We'll see how much time
Yeah.
we have,
Yeah.
but that's pretty cool.
For sure. Did you say your daughter goes to SCA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Finn Chambers is her name.
In Chambers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask.
name.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Finn
Yeah,
Chambers?
dude, she's
What's she into?
music. She plays guitar. She writes songs. Actually, TJ, loudspeaker phase control. He's been like, come in the studio. He's heard her recordings and stuff, and she's just a little shy and but she's recorded songs. She really a beautiful voice and a gift for like songwriting. And I'm totally biased, but I'm blown away by her. So yeah, she's into music. She took guitar. She took the Mr. Norris's socio-political history, right?
That's the best
Loved it. Yeah.
So you know Mr. Norris.
Yeah.
Only, like
Yes.
longtime friend of mine.
Right.
One of the
They
first-
came here for a field trip.
Yeah.
He brought us 2 classes
Yeah.
here.
It's like pretty much my like one of our closest friends.
One of the first friends we made when we moved back to California. We were born in California, lived on the East Coast for a little bit, moved back when I was beginning junior high. We were still one of the first guys we met.
Yeah.
Really?
Love
He's
that guy.
awesome. No, he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. And loved his class. Was fascinated by it. And would like teach me stuff. Before she was
Oh, yeah.
driving, I'd like pick her up and she'd be like, okay, mom, like in the 60s, mom. I was like, dude, that's so
Great.
awesome.
I know. And what an
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
I wish they had that when
And
I
then
was
she
in
would like
high
go from
school.
that to guitar. It was
Yeah.
like, really? This is high school? So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Jealous. Yeah. So cool. That's neat. Yeah, he's great. It was super fun. He had 2 classes of that class last semester. So, and Garrett knows him too because his boys took it. Or at least Dempsey did.
Yeah.
And so they came down and we get tours.
Nice.
Talked to them about it. It's really fun. Okay. So yes, she's into music to answer your
Very cool. Love that.
Sorry.
Love it.
Here we go. Just in here chit-chatting with Switchfoot on 91X, or that is on fire. I should say I'm chit-chatting with you guys, and I wasn't paying attention to that song. That's so beautiful, On Fire, from the new re-recorded version of the Beautiful Letdown, something that you guys did to celebrate the 20th anniversary of this album. And so when did this idea start for you guys? That like, you know what, what if we did this? What if we re-recorded?
We had a
20 years ago.
well, I was gonna say 2020. You had like all this time and you were like, hey,
That's true.
what do you want to do? Well, and you're kind of like looking up and you're like, this for us, this record, truly, these songs took us around the world. And so you're trying to figure out how do you celebrate it. And it felt like a beautiful way to kind of go back in time and experience the record again.
I'm so glad you did, because it's really cool to listen to. And I might recommend what I did, which is create a playlist where you have one version from the original and then follow it with the version from our version, newly re-recorded, and then you can listen to them together. And it's so cool to hear the evolution and try and pick out the different places. And so we're going to keep going. I want to play Adding to the Noise now, our version. Anything come to mind about the re-recording of this one, you guys?
Yeah, this one I think sounds a lot better than the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
just
mix in particular.
Production wise, yeah. So what
Yeah.
does that mean for the
I mean,
release of
just
the mix?
know what we're doing now, and we had a little bit more time. I mean, this whole thing happens. It happened so fast, and this one in particular, we didn't really have the time to dedicate to like the 9th track on the record.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, oh, it sounds fun. Let's go. It's print it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas 2020, you got a lot of time. Yeah.
So you took your time with it.
Yes.
Let's check it out. Adding to the Noise, our version, the new updated version from Switchfoot's The Beautiful Letdown. 91X. All right. So, yeah, let's do that. We'll talk a little bit more after this, and then we'll tease an announcement. Will come out of commercials. And
Cool.
give them the info, and then we'll play our version, and we'll play Chet's song, and hopefully No Knife. And I mean, we have time for No Knife. I can make us have time.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I can
Let's
go.
go.
Bump the next hour, and then we'll get you guys to record those liners,
Yeah. Cool.
and then we'll be on our way.
Love it.
I feel like this kind of went by quickly.
So fast.
Are you guys satisfied? Is there stuff that I haven't covered that you want?
That's great.
Text my son. We're gonna play.
Oh, good. Awesome.
No, yeah, it's so odd yeah, to go back in time and talk about a record like this, but it's a true honor. So thanks.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're
It's been
stoked
really
to have
fun.
you guys anytime. Right on. Okay, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything.
awesome.
Okay. Cool. The lights in here are throwing me off too. When I'm in here and it's my show, I
yeah.
make it dark,
Right?
just a little bit of light.
And I was like, oh, you can do. Oh, but we can't.
Yeah.
Cameras.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing out there? You guys all
Yeah.
There was a lot of love for Jetty. Yeah, there was a lot of love when you guys mentioned that. A bunch of people play it. So
Is that the name of the band? His name is Jed, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
but the band is Jed. Okay.
And
Cool.
funnily enough, the ocean song.
Yes,
Be the Ocean.
can we be the
So
ocean?
that was the first song that I put out like 5, 6.
Right
Like
on.
his very first. Started putting out music in November.
Just for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
had some more questions.
Yeah.
What is your favorite No Knife song or album?
Hitman Dreams, I think, was the album that I spent the most time with.
Yeah, is that the one? Then is it Drunk on the Moon? That it's like the stick figure.
That was the one that I first got into them on because it was on the Momentum surf video.
Yeah, they were really big on the Taylor Steele surf movies. All those soundtracks. We go to La Paloma and watch the surf movie premiere.
Sure, yeah.
That's where you kind of found out about all these bands.
Oh.
You know, whether it was like Bad Religion, No Effects, all those 90s.
Yeah, that's that. I saw it. Oh, here we go. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Enjoying adding to the noise. That is our version, which means it's on the newly re-recorded version of Switchfoot's The Beautiful Letdown. Something we did to celebrate the 20th anniversary of its release and everywhere it's taken you guys in the last 20 years. I've got Tim, John, and Chad here. It's Hillary on 91X. And we have a super duper cool Switchfoot that we're going to share with you in just a minute and wrap this up with 24, the final song on the album. And then we have a couple bonus things we're going to play, including Jetty, some No Knife. So hang with us. Switchfoot live on 91X. All right, No Knife. What else? Any
Yeah. What have you guys been listening to lately?
That's good. I've been trying to kind of just do I've been trying to figure out how do people listen to music? You know, like, cause so I'll go through on Apple Music. Generally it sounds better and they pay their artists better, but I'll go through and just listen to playlists and select my favorite and just kind of like, this is the modern listening experience. I want to know, like, I went into Lose Records and would listen to the little PlayStations, but this is the modern version of that. So it's been really good. Kind of turning me on to Joy Lockabin. Yeah, and my friend Mike produced that record. The Nickel Creek record, they're friends of ours, San Diego.
Yeah.
Friends, and their new record is so wild. Worth a listen for the more, not for the faint of heart, definitely for the like musically adventurous. Those would be two that I've been listening to lately.
Awesome.
What else?
Let's see. From Nick, was there anything you did on the new version of the album that you wished you would have done on the first?
Oh, so many things.
Yeah.
You can't get there. Like, it's almost like you don't. You just keep pulling the thread. So you're never like, we need to go there. You're just like, I don't know where we're going, but we're just chasing it.
Yeah, I mean that gets into that tricky territory of that where it's like, well, it's only one way to get to where we are.
If you could have told yourself, 20 years something, you're like, I don't know. He's kind of got to learn it on his own.
Got to go through some stuff.
What else?
All right, this is a good one. If you could go 30 years in the future and Google one thing, what would you Google?
Wow. Great on the.
Wow.
Oh man, is the planet still here? Is Google still here? I don't know. AI has got me all nervous, and climate change and sort of things. I think I'm generally a hopeful person, but there's fear creeps in every now and then. What are you Googling, Timmy?
I'm not taking the red pill. I'm not Googling anything.
Oh,
I'm just gonna.
you don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Okay, Chad.
I mean, it changes.
I hope I'm unplugged from the internet.
What was the first big artist that you opened for that you were like, whoa?
Okay, so I have a story where we were like we kept doing laps around the country on this record, and every time we'd play city, it'd get bigger. And one of the times we played LA, and we weren't opening for someone, but what's his face? It was in the inside stage. The drummer for Motley Crue,
Tommy Lee.
And that's when I know I was like, it's like this
Singing every word.
Tommy Lee is just belting out Meant to Live, and I'm like, okay, this is different.
We got to open for the Foo Fighters when it was on either Beautiful Letdown or the album after it. And they were my favorite band in high school. I was a little young for Nirvana, like that. I was just behind Nirvana, right? So, like Dave Grohl, he was my hero. And I actually got to meet him at a wedding 2 years later, which was very serendipitous. Just said hi. But then we got to open for him, and that was kind of like, wow, high school me would have flipped out.
That is so fun. It must have been mind-blowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and great guys, all of them.
I remember we were on the
We have
bill
15 seconds.
with Destiny's Child,
What?
Madison Square Garden. Trump was there, like the weirdest cast of characters. Trump introduced that guy she banged, William Hung.
A weird show.
Yeah, so that happened. That was not a dream.
That sounds like a very weird dream.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of the most interesting, coolest places and people that Switchfoot have. And it's weird. It took a left turn there.
So yeah, so like
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child, Madison Square Garden,
Mhm.
Tommy Lee singing side stage in LA, like just weird things where you're like, did that happen? Is that true?
Yeah.
And then, I met Little Richard in an elevator.
No.
That's really cool.
I come in, we're staying at the Hyatt on Sunset, and which I don't even know if it's there anymore.
The
And
Riot Hyatt.
yeah, I get in the elevator, and there's like 5 guys in these epic, like, suits, pastel suits, everyone a different hue, with the matching hat and the shoes and socks and shirts and everything, just decked. And one guy's in the corner carrying a stack of books, and the other guy, and there's like, and one of the guys is Little Richard, like unmistakably that Little Richard. I'm getting in the elevator, and the elevator doors close, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, it's just awkward elevator. And then I get off the elevator, they're continuing down to the parking garage, and I'm like, have a good day. And Little Richard says, Johnny, give him a book. And the guy holding a stack of books gives me a book. And then the elevator door is closed, and I'm left holding this book, and I'm like, but those are the experiences that, like, I'm telling you, like, that's what epitomized those years where it's just like, if it weren't for the book, I'd be telling a lie. I would be like, that did not happen. I was hallucinating. I'm standing in the lobby white as a ghost holding this Little Richard book that he gave me, so like those are things that wild memories. Yeah.
Well, and experiences that this album sort of got the ball rolling to open up that world to you guys,
Yeah.
maybe to have these
Oh,
crazy
absolutely. Yeah.
inch me moments.
Yeah.
Right?
What a gift.
Yeah.
We're
For sure.
talking the Beautiful Letdown with Switchfoot. We don't have much more time, so before we play the final song from the album, the new album, and the old, we have some very cool news.
Yes.
And as 91Xers, as long as we've gone back with you guys, We feel so grateful to get to be a part of this and that you guys are going to help us celebrate the 35th anniversary of Loudspeaker, our local music show. I think it is the longest running local music show on
Amazing.
FM.
Definitely.
Which might be in on the planet. I mean, that's the thing where you're like, it might be the longest on the planet.
Yeah, so we've got a few special things we're doing to celebrate the 35th anniversary of 91X's Loudspeaker. One of them, however, is extra special. Do you guys want to do the honors here? Or do you need a reminder
so
details?
Well, I'm not going to go on the details, but I will tell you, we are partnering with 91X to play the only San Diego date on this tour where we play through the Beautiful Letdown in its entirety. In a tiny location, unspecified location that means a lot to us. We've been there many times. I'm sure had multiple experiences playing and also watching bands. I saw No Knife there.
You did.
So this place is near and dear to our hearts. I can't tell you where it is, but I'm so excited about this. This is these are the dream gigs where you get to play in the tiniest spot, kind of go back to the way it was in 2003 when this record first came out.
And this is truly going to be a once in a lifetime experience, I think, for Switchfoot fans, where you are going to play. I know you're launching this big tour and some of the shows are already sold out, where you're going to play the Beautiful Letdown in its entirety. You already did one in Oregon, right?
Yes.
And how'd that go? Side note.
Oh man, it's so fun. Unreal.
Right on. Okay, that's good news because you've got this whole tour to play.
Yeah, we didn't know. It's actually like a good thing that went well because you're like, I hope it does.
Yeah. Let's hope this works. So for this San Diego date, I can tell Switchfoot fans it is going to be on Tuesday, August 22nd. It is a tiny venue. Tickets are not going to be for sale. There's only going to be one way to get them, and that is to win them from 91X. And so at 91x.com, if it's not live yet, it will be in 10 minutes. Anyone knows it live will be very soon. You'll just need to go to 91x.com and enter to win tickets to this Switchfoot performance. Very special, intimate, one of a kind performance of the Beautiful Letdown. Thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah,
it's going to be so cool.
See you. Long live Loudspeaker.
Yeah. So 91x.com to celebrate Loudspeaker's 35th anniversary and the 20th of the Beautiful Letdown. Let's get things moving with this final song, 24. This long and beautiful 24. Anything you want to say about this?
I wrote it the day before I turned 25.
Did you really?
And I had just broken my wrist trying to impress a girl on a skateboard. I was on a skateboard, impressed.
Okay.
And now we're married. So that's all I have to say about this song.
I love that. Let's play it. 24-hour version. Switchfoot right here on 91X.
It kind of sounded like you were going to say 24-hour version. The 24-hour version. The 25 and 24-hour version. What? No.
That's awesome. That's really funny. I didn't know if you were.
Taylor did a 9-minute version. We got a 24-hour version.
That's your next project.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. All right, Neil. Is anyone excited about the show? Or
yes, no. There's lots of excitement.
Karen?
3 people. No, just kidding.
That's gonna be so awesome.
1 million.
Nicole said she's shaking. LMAO.
Oh.
Yeah, Nicole.
Cody's hyped. It's the day after Kimberly's birthday.
Sweet.
For Kimberly.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Lots of requests for the 24-hour version.
I'm gonna unrequest that one.
I would require a lot of coffee.
Do you guys have a favorite band to see live? Or someone that is always reliable to see live?
Man, we tour so much that we don't get to see as many shows as you'd think. But the first thing that came to mind was Radiohead. But yeah.
I'll go with a local band that I've loved for 25 years, the Grey Boy All Stars.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. So fun.
Some of my favorite shows I've ever been to.
Right on.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah.
I would
Still
say
ripping.
Death Cab is guaranteed to sound incredible every time. Jimmy Eat World too. Great
They're
rock
here
band.
Friday, but you guys aren't going to be because we got something else going on.
Come and say hi. They're
Yeah.
the reason why we got a studio. We saw theirs. We were shopping through Phoenix and we were like, whoa, this is good. We got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are nice guys. I remember they've always been
Yeah.
to us. Just good people.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And they do. Jimmy Eat World, I feel like, is one of those bands when you see them live. Like I always, and I play a lot of Jimmy Eat World, but I always forget how many great songs they have. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah, this one. Oh, yeah.
So many.
It's super fun. Yeah.
What else? What other questions you got?
We got some more. Where do you guys think the best place to start playing live is for someone with some song but needs some work?
Oh, I mean, any opportunity you get, you know.
Open
like,
mic, bar mitzvah,
Right.
backyard, frat party. Like basically, if it's a place that,
Furniture upholstery.
yeah,
be
literally.
able to adapt it to like various venues. So you can be like, oh, a restaurant's gonna let you play for an hour. I can do it. You know, that kind of-
I know 14 covers now, or whatever it is.
yeah, but it's one of those things that it just takes like doing it 1,000 times.
And like failing, giving
Yeah.
yourself the ability to fail.
I actually have a good one from Ben. If you weren't in a band, what do you think you would be doing?
Following Switchfoot around the globe.
See myself teaching. We're teaching surfing.
He was a surf instructor.
Were you?
I was. That's how I met my wife.
Oh, that's cool.
She taught me to surf.
Did she really? All right, that's
He
cool.
taught her how to surf.
All right.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite on the road snacks?
I like Fritos. Fritos are nice.
You know what are really good are those Dots pretzels with the honey mustard.
Oh,
You ever
are
had
they?
those?
So I haven't had the honey mustard. I got excited and
crazy
then I had to
good.
pull back. I like the ones in the red, the original
Dots.
dots.
Yeah.
So you guys are
Quality
So
pretzel.
good. It
Different
really
part-
is.
the honey
different types of
mustard.
that.
A little on the pricey
Yeah.
side, but
Yeah,
it's
you
worth
pay a little
it.
extra.
It's worth it for dots, dude. I'm with
Whatever
you.
they're doing,
They're
know-
doing
they
it
know-
right.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up and then we'll go into Jet and No Knife and call it. Okay. That is 24 newly re-recorded version of Switchfoot's new release of Beautiful Letdown, celebrating 20 years of that album. It's Hillary here on 91X. And that does it for playing every song from the newly re-recorded
Wow.
version.
Wow. All right.
Switchfoot in the studio with me, Chad, John, Tim, and of all the songs, which one do you think was like most changed by your growth as humans, maybe in the way you recorded it in the new version, or just evolved through fans' feedback or experiences of it over the years?
Well, I would say the song "Beautiful Letdown" was the most evolved version of the re-recording. It's kind of a big departure from the original. It just felt, and for whatever reason, that song felt like, yeah, that's the song you do it with. And I gotta say, playing the album start to finish for the first time the other night, that was the song that really got to me. It like really snuck up on me. I was getting emotional. So
He
yeah,
put his sunglasses on.
yeah. Reaching for the tissues.
That's so cool.
I think it's interesting because we have a philosophy for live music. There's no right or wrong philosophy for this surfing, but we kind of want to reinvent the song and kind of have it feel new, feel appropriate for whatever room we're in. And so yeah, I'm so excited to go on tour this fall and have the set list be fixed, but where you go within that set list, kind of make it much like jazz as we can,
It's pretty cool and maybe a new challenge for you guys.
It's totally new because usually we mix up the set list. The set list is always
Yeah.
broken and
Sure.
destroyed, but the set list is fixed. So what are you gonna destroy?
Right.
So that's my challenge.
That's very cool that you can get you can expand within those parameters. I
Yeah.
suppose. So Switchfoot kicking off a tour in August, where you're really going to launch it, right? This Beautiful Letdown tour, playing all these cities, playing the album front to back, and we are so grateful once again to be able to host you guys at a celebration not only of Beautiful Letdown's 20th anniversary, but of Loudspeakers 91X's local music show, where you were played first on the radio.
That's right.
That show is turning 35 this year. So Lou and TJ and all of us were going to be there at the Poorhouse. No, wait, what am I saying? The Poorhouse is that show next week in the 35th anniversary. Now I'm getting them confused. The Switchfoot one is happening Tuesday, August 22nd, not at the Poorhouse, but it is happening at a cool venue here in San Diego. And tickets are not for sale. So Switchfoot fans that want to be there at this tiny, intimate performance of their album.
It's not your house either.
It's not at my house.
Hillary's house.
It's not at your house. It's not at the Poorhouse, but it is somewhere very cool and special to you guys and to a lot of us in San Diego. And the only way to get tickets is to enter to win them at 91x.com. So thank you. That is going to be awesome. August 22nd. And before we go, we're going to play two more songs that you guys picked out. We'll start with Jetty.
Yeah.
Tell us, Tim. Tell us about this.
This is my son. This is his band. It's his project, Jettee. And he just started putting out music. He's going to be a senior in high school. And I'm quite fond of it.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. The song is called Can We Be the Ocean? Another foreman that has been played on 91X's loudspeaker. This is Jetty on 91X. All right, cool.
It sounds so good.
I've never done this stuff. All right, so we'll do this and then no knives. And then we'll sanitize it. And I'll have you guys record liners. Why don't we just do that after? Or once no knife is playing.
Cool.
Okay. And you guys
Thank you again, Hillary.
Thank you guys. It was fun. It was awesome. You guys make it very easy. Yeah. Cool. And interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to say bye to the people watching the stream? And
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Thanks for hanging.
It's so strange to be talking and not be able to. I know you're there behind that lens somewhere, but just wanted to say thank you.
Karen, Nicole, everyone
Yeah.
else.
For being more than our imaginary friends. And can't wait to see you on tour. And if you can send up big clap emojis for the 91X team for having us.
Yay.
Hillary crushing it.
Woo! And Neil and Dimitri
That's
for
right.
playing the show.
Thank you,
behind the
guys.
scenes. Yeah,
This was fun.
this was fun, you guys. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
feel like we do cool stuff every couple of years. We're
Yeah, right?
It's like
Yeah.
cool things with you guys. It's awesome.
You want to talk about the new record?
It was a beautiful letdown.
The Beautiful Letdown, that whole record almost never came out at all.
This album changed our lives.
20 years later, it's crazy to think that we came so close to nobody hearing those songs.
And that's a story that I don't know that too many people know. So we had finally got onto this major label.
It was this holy grail that very few bands ever achieved.
I mean, we thought we were living the dream.
We worked so hard on this album, we loved these songs, and right before the album came out, bam, they dropped us.
It felt like we had arrived, and that arrival was just taken away from us.
Talk about going from the top of the mountain on the fast track all the way down to the bottom.
It was a roller coaster. It was such a volatile time for all of us.
I think it lived up to the title, The Beautiful Letdown, and that album hadn't even come out yet.
But in spite of all of that, we were fighting to put it out anyway.
Didn't matter if the major label agreed and believed in us. We thought we had something to say.
We were determined to put out these songs, with or without a major label.
These are our songs. We're gonna put them out.
For the past 20 years, we've been taking these songs around the world, or they've been taking us around the world.
I mean, these songs have grown up with us, and we've grown up with them.
I still love those songs. They still mean so much to me. I still believe them.
What if we can re-record the entire album?
And not for some record company that doesn't even want us.
But for us, and for the people that have been singing along with us for the last 20 years.
What if we could take the whole album back, make it ours? The Beautiful Letdown, our version.
91X.